I think AI is the most powerful technology humanity has probably ever developed, maybe with the exception of the splitting of the atom. I don't think people understand what this means yet. They still think it's like a gadget or a widget or a bit of the internet. It is, in fact, if you think of scarcity, a world everybody in crypto understands, we replaced the scarcity of humans by creating the machines. That was the agricultural revolution, the industrial revolution, the technological revolution. The one thing that we had as humans that was scarce was knowledge. Knowledge is now infinitely scalable. There is no reason to have as many doctors, lawyers, accountants, almost anybody, producers, editors, writers, marketers, you name it. I mean, it's staggering. And we've only, don't forget, here's us going, oh, well, it's a bubble. We're 6 months into this since GPT-4 came out. It's gone from 0 to 120 million users. It went there in 5 weeks.
There's a game-changing exponential technology dominating conversations everywhere: artificial intelligence. Before ChatGPT's arrival, cryptocurrency was the world's fastest adopted tech. But AI changed the game, propelling ChatGPT to a whopping 120 million users in just 2 months. In an interview with Raoul Pal, the founder of Real Vision, he reveals the unprecedented opportunity AI presents. Entrepreneurs and builders have a 6-month window to capitalize on AI's potential for exponential wealth and groundbreaking ideas, outpacing the monetary debasement caused by excessive money printing. While Pal maintains a strong conviction in cryptocurrencies as investment vehicles and safe havens, he urges us not to ignore the exponential growth of AI. Raoul Pal's interview highlights the intersection of cryptocurrencies and artificial intelligence. He emphasizes the need to seize this opportunity within the AI industry early on. Pal's insights offer valuable guidance on how to navigate and invest in the AI landscape. As AI reshapes the technological frontier, combining it with the world of cryptocurrencies can open up a new realm of possibilities. Ignoring this exponential growth would mean missing out on one of the greatest opportunities in human history. Therefore, understanding and leveraging AI's transformative power becomes crucial for those looking to build exponential wealth and foster groundbreaking ideas.
So if you bought Facebook in 2012, it had some big ups and downs, but it just kept going, right? That was the wave of social media, and that's part of the internet. So where are we in the bubble? Well, it's virtually uninvestable. You can buy some semiconductor stocks. You can buy Microsoft that does a whole shit ton of other stuff. You could buy Google. We haven't started the bubble in this. If it's as big a disruptive technology, we're going to have one epic bubble. I would buy, what I've done is buy the SMH ETF. That's the semis, because it's not just NVIDIA. So, okay, so it's less scary than NVIDIA. And the semi-cycle's just turned higher. Again, it's driven by the business cycle. We have forward-looking forecasts. That should last for another 2 or 3 years. So that, and it tends to outperform the NASDAQ in these cycles. The NASDAQ itself, pretty easy way of gaining exposure to this whole space. Then you could go down to individual stocks. They've got so many other component parts, Microsoft, Google, Tesla is a no-brainer in this. I mean, there's a reason Elon bought Twitter. And it's not because he wants an open playing field of debate. It's because he wants all of the natural language of humans in the way that they interact with each other at scale. Because don't forget, he's got the Optimus robot, he's got the self-driving cars, and he's building the world's fastest supercomputer dojo. So everybody's in this game. So those stocks will do well. And then there'll be other opportunities that come, whether somebody manages to go public, whatever it is, or it ends up being a gigantic VC bubble. Of course it will do. You know, we've seen this play out and play out. But the bubbles, I mean, we've only been going for 6 months. These things usually go 3-4 years before you have a big wipe out of capital, a reset, and off we go again. I developed a thesis called the exponential age, which you've heard me bleat on about, and that's the nexus of all of these technologies, from crypto to AI to robotics to genetic sciences to space to distributed computing power, and all of these Internet of Things, all of this stuff. They all are part of the same thing, which is an entirely new technological infrastructure of the world and applications of the world. So the blockchain sits at the middle of that and helps a lot of it become more efficient. As you rightly say, the currency of the machines is likely to be a cryptocurrency in its format. So I think that is a decent thesis, but that's a way off. You know, your fridge paying Amazon to upload will happen, right? The Internet of Things. What is it going to do that streaming payments in? We don't know. The central banks are trying to get into this game as well by figuring out, can they get faster and faster ways of payments? But there's that. The other thing is, what's really interesting to me that most people don't think about is, what is the compute called for AIs? The tokens, right? You pay for a certain number of tokens, right? It's obvious to me that a tokenization of an AI, open AI network makes total sense, because you create a payment system for paying the tokens, using the tokens. It can create an economy. So if there's one way for the machines to create an economy, it's the tokenization of itself as a network, right? Most of these are not closed networks right now. Now, Stability AI, and there's a few others, are open source. Okay, that leads itself, even the fact that you are paying for tokens to use tokens for that. I think that makes a tremendous amount of sense, as it does with cloud compute and other big open networks of this sort. And finally, the other one is, I know you guys are involved in the kind of ZK ecosystem. I think identity is going to be the most pressing and urgent part of this first, because we are going into a US election. Let's see how hot it's going to be as an election. But if we've got a very polarizing set of candidates, we are going to see an enormous amount of use of AI, both good and bad, and we will not know what content is authentic, what people are authentic. We're already struggling with Twitter with authenticity. All of this needs to get resolved, and I think blockchain is the way of doing it. Look, just people need to get their heads around simple things. It's like, watch the DeepMind Go documentary. When Google built this large language model called DeepMind, they kind of pioneered it, came out of the UK. That thing started competing against the World Go Champion, which is supposed to be the most complex board game, strategic board game that humans can play. It wins the first bunch of them, playing normal kind of Go strategies. It then loses a game. The next game after that, the commentators, and it's all filmed, are like, what the hell's it doing? This is stupid moves. This doesn't make any sense. It then never lost a game ever again. And the only thing that can beat it is new versions of DeepMind. It had learnt to play Go in a way that humans had never played Go, and it had never had been taught the rules. It learnt the rules. And it was that transition, you see it on the documentary, where people are like, I don't understand this. Then we've started to hearing stories out of Google X, their internal labs, which is like, this thing has some elements of sentience. Whatever that means, these are all charged terms. Just go and say, does it have a form of intelligence that we don't understand, or a way of learning, even simpler than that, a way of learning we don't understand? Then go and watch the Sam Altman, Lex Fridman interview. When Sam stops and goes to Lex, do you think we've built AGI? And Lex pauses and goes, I don't think so.
No one knows. They don't know.
Because the issue is here is this thing learns in ways we don't understand. We've seen it learn languages that it had never been taught. So it's learning. And every time we ask it questions, it's learning more. The more data we put in it, it's learning more. We don't know how it learns or what it learns. So what we're now stuck with, and nobody knows how these models work. Not Sam Altman, nobody. So how I think about it is, we're restricted by our own language. So it's like if you've got broken Spanish and you speak to a Spanish person, a native Spanish speaker, you can't assess their intelligence because you don't even know how to ask the questions, because you're limited by your language and understanding. And that's where I think we are with this. I'm not saying we've developed AGI, but I'm saying is we don't know what we've developed, but the power of it is enormous. So if you think of the AGI of the global population of 8 billion people trying to solve a problem, it's still very, very powerful. The machines are not at that level. So my guess is we reorganize society, which we know we're in need of, and it's underway, right? Crypto was one of the first parts of that. It came precisely from a moment where it's like, we need to reorganize the financial system. I think we'll reorganize society, and many of the jobs that people do, they don't want to do. What are the jobs in the future? And I go with Mark Andreessen. I don't think if it's all roses, for sure, but I go with Mark Andreessen's idea that humans will reorganize and create different opportunities. My thesis, and I don't know, is that community-based work, because people are social and working within communities enabled by Web3, I think is a big way for people to earn a living. You know, if they help Bankless increase, Bankless's reach, productivity, economic situation, and they're participants in your network, and they participate in it, then everybody's got alignments of interest. We live in a globalized digital nation states right now, and I think we'll fractionalize into smaller and smaller digital nation states of which we can earn a living from. So I do think there's different opportunities that will come, but I think basis of knowledge is not going to be the human opportunity, much like physical force is not a human opportunity any longer. But I do think also within this is we're entering a renaissance period of productivity growth. So opportunities are going to be vast for a period of time. Opportunities to use the technology, to utilize it, to augment yourself, to augment your businesses is staggering in nature. So I do think there's a lot of opportunity to be gained by many. And so there will be that friction of the opportunity to be gained, the advances, and then the reorg of societies in new ways. And that's going to feel frictionful, but I do believe it's part of the fourth turning, the Neil Howe, William Strauss thesis feels spot on to me. It's the changing of generations, it's the changing of systems, it's the changing of the rules-based global order system in the way that it stands today. As you said, our institutions are really not able to deal with this. Like they're not able to deal with crypto, they're barely able to deal with the internet. We're still regulating internet stuff, and we can't get round to figuring how this is. So it's going to happen naturally in a way that we don't yet understand.
In the visionary role of Pal, we recapped the invaluable insights shared. We delved into the astonishing rise of artificial intelligence, exemplified by ChatGPT, which even surpassed the rapid adoption of cryptocurrencies. With a deep understanding of macroeconomic forces, Raoul highlights AI as possibly the grandest opportunity and the most transformative technology ever witnessed by humanity. He urges entrepreneurs, builders, and wealth aspirers to seize this moment, a fleeting window of about 6 months, to embrace AI as the pathway to exponential wealth and innovation. It's important to note that Raoul's unwavering conviction in cryptocurrencies as robust investment vehicles and safe havens remains unchanged. However, the emergence of AI, the new prodigy in town, is simply impossible to overlook. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.